Hey, good morning, guys. This is California State Job Coach Kent coming at you again. I'm actually coming at you from Mexico. I recently relocated to Mexico, but that's a long story. This is the 8th video in a series, how to get a job with the state of California. The other videos cover, well, an introduction to the channel, why you would want to pursue a job with the state, how to fill out your application, how to search for jobs, etc., etc. So if you haven't watched those videos, you probably want to go back and watch those videos, because this video, which is on filling out a statement of qualifications, is going to make a lot more sense, especially if you're process or task oriented like I am. Puts everything into context. So with that, the reason why I'm doing this video on statements of qualifications, we call them SOQs in the biz, is because I get a lot of questions about the SOQs in the comments section of multiple videos, of the channel videos, as well as the fact that it's an important part of the process. So in my opinion, it might be the most important part of the application. And there's a few reasons for that. One, anyone can fill out and submit a standard state application. I mean anybody can do that. So we get a lot of applications from various people for every job opening. Two, anyone can submit their resume. Everybody's got, all job seekers have a resume all ginned up. Some even tailor it for each job position, which I highly recommend you do, including these job positions and the applications that you submit. But it's not hard to do that. So filling out the application, submitting a resume is pretty darn easy. But not anybody can write clearly and succinctly. And so that's one of the primary reasons that SOQs, or statements of qualifications, are part of an application package. Most of the good jobs, in fact, have good managers who are trying to fill those positions, and those good managers take the time to require a statement of qualification and also submit what the requirements are for completing the statement of qualification. So if a SOQ is part of the requirements for a job, I submit it's because it's for a good job with a good manager. You probably should look at those very closely. So that was the third one. Not anyone can write clearly and succinctly, particularly on specific questions and possibly complicated topics. And I'll talk about those in a second. And fourthly, the fourth reason is not anyone can follow directions. Part of the SOQ is following specific directions to see if you've got the requisite attention to detail to perform analytical jobs for AGPA positions, and management and leadership jobs also require a lot of analytical skills. So there's 4 reasons why it's the most important part, including that the good jobs and the good managers usually require an SOQ. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into some of the specifics. I'm just going to show you, not going to draw up another window or anything, but I'm just going to show you an SOQ, a completed SOQ for one of the positions that I had applied for. Now, I just said it a little bit ago, seconds ago in fact, but I want to be very specific on this. The requirements for the SOQ, they're particular for each job posting, and they're going to be called out in the job posting. They're going to say exactly what they want you to do for the SOQ, like it needs to be 1 or 2 pages. I'm holding up one that's 2 pages. It was 2-page SOQ. It needs to be single spaced. It needs to have literally 3/4 or 1-inch margins. It needs to be an Arial font, etc., etc. Very specific requirements, and those are there. One, it makes it easy to read. Enough white space in between the questions or topics. And also, like I said, it's to see if you can follow the directions. If you submit a SOQ and you don't follow the directions, you have the wrong font, Courier instead of Arial, you don't have the right margins, you don't answer the right topics or questions, they're gonna just get thrown out. Oftentimes in the job posting, they'll say that the SOQ is acting in place of the first level interview. And it really is. It's helping the hiring manager, which I was one, and I hired people, and I usually required SOQs because of what I said. I wanted to see if people could write succinctly. I wanted to see if they could address specific topics in a relevant fashion, etc., etc. So you need to follow the directions. Now, in the job posting, for this example, they asked 6 different questions. So I start off with a little header, and for this, the header is right up here at the top. It says Statement of Qualifications, Staff Services Manager 2, Caltrans, yada, 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 whatever the position was, right? And then I'll start with the requirements will be answer these 6 questions. So question 1, question 2, question 3. If there's 6 questions, I suggest you start trying to answer them on one page, because you're going to have to answer the second set of 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the second page. But depending on how you answer them, I highly recommend you answer them using, it's called the STAR format. You talk about the situation, you talk about the task, you talk about the activities that you needed to execute for the situation and the task, and then lastly, the results. So situation, task, actions, results. That format is a format that is very useful in any sort of interview for a job, but particularly the state looks for that format. They teach that in how to do interviews and how to do resume reviews and how to do SOQs and all that kind of stuff. You'll see that format often used. They probably won't specify in the SOQ directions to use that format, okay? They probably won't specify that, but I submit and I highly suggest and recommend that you use it because it's very clear. It's a good way to address whatever the issues are. So, for example, I said this SOQ, it was one I actually did. They asked 6 questions. The first question was, or they wanted you to address this topic. The first one was, demonstrated experience in managing a staff, including short and long-term planning, workload balancing, and resource allocation. They wanted you to address that. What are your knowledge, skills, abilities, etc. with respect to that? And I responded in the STAR format. I'm not going to go through that because each one of these is going to be different. You're going to have to do it on your own. And I expect that you can do that. Otherwise, you're not very analytical and you probably shouldn't be applying for the job. But for example, the second thing they wanted to be addressed was demonstrated ability to develop, set, and achieve established performance measures and targets to ensure accountability. Remember, this is for a leadership or management position. The third one was demonstrated ability to communicate effectively, both orally and writing. Well, this SOQ was demonstrating the writing part right there. And they're also, if you use the STAR format to respond, you'll be able to demonstrate concisely and clearly how you can do these things. And there were 6 different things, like I said. So I started off putting 3 on one page and 3 on the other, and then in STAR format addressing them. And then I went back and put it in the right font, single space, with the margins they asked for, etc., etc. I don't worry about that stuff to begin with. I'm trying to just hammer it out, brainstorming the stuff. But sometimes there'll be 2 questions or issues they want you to address. Sometimes there'll be 4. Yeah, in this case it was 6, and yeah, that's a lot to put on 2 pages. But like I said, they want to see if you can write clearly and concisely. In this case, the emphasis was on concisely. So, I pared down how much I put on the situation, the task, the action, and the result. But I gave enough to clearly answer the issues of the question. So that's why you want to do an SOQ. That's kind of how you do the SOQ, my thought process on how to frame it. Hopefully that clears up some questions or concerns that some people had. If not, just reply or comment down in the comment section of this video. If you need more than just a short Q&A in the comment section, which I'll do for free, but if you need more than that, schedule a one-on-one coaching with me, and I'll do a 30-minute or 60-minute coaching. It's not limited to SOQs. It could touch on any of this the whole process of any of the 8 videos, this being the 8th video, from cradle to grave, or soup to nuts, as I like to say. And hopefully we can get you cleared up on what you need to do, what your first steps are, and what your subsequent steps are. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I highly encourage you to subscribe so that and also click on the bell icon. It's a little bell icon. It's the notification icon, they call it here in YouTube, so that you'll be notified that when future videos come out. So with that, I hope I answered the question. I hope I gave you everything you need to successfully fill out a statement of qualifications. And like I said, it's probably the most important part of this whole process, being able to do one of those. So with that, it's Cali State Job Coach Kent signing off from Mexico. I hope you all have a great day.